Welcome back. In the previous class, we have did what is function overridden. We have seen the implementation in a program as well. Today, we're doing a topic which is somewhat related to a function overridden. We call it as a virtual function. Now, what is this and how does it help in polymorphism? Basic idea is simply that we use a virtual function just because we want to ensure that overridden is met. That means in a program, if there is a confusion of the compiler that whether overridden will happen or not, then we use the concept of virtual function, which ensure that overridden will happen. And if overridden happens, that means it's a polymorphism. The question is that this generally happens on classes where if we have a pointer based class to an object of a derived class. So if you recall the concept of pointers, this will be applied over here as well. So whenever you see pointers in a program, and if you see this keyword, which is the word virtual, so you will understand that virtual function has been applied over here. So they are forcibly trying to allow overridden to happen just because we want polymorphism in order to act in the program. So for better understanding of virtual function, we have to go through a program. So let's see one program then. So over here, I have a program is using virtual function, and obviously it's pointer based class. Firstly, if you see in the top over here, I've made a class name is base, and inside here, I simply have a print function. But if you see very carefully, there's a virtual keyword over here. So that means this function is a virtual function. Fine. What is it doing? It's simply printing the base function as it's a print state. Perfect. Next, what we have is we have a derived class, and we're deriving from the public of the base class. That means whatever is inside this, it will come here. That is, it will be inherited. Same function name, polymorphism, derived function is also here. Fine. Now, the interesting thing or the thing which is you have to know here is in the main function. So what I did, I made an object, and here if you see very carefully, here we have used a concept pointers. Now, since we have declared the void print inside the base class as a virtual function, so this function, which is the print function, will be overridden when we use a pointer base type that points to the derived object. So I have made a pointer, which is base 1, and it is going to the address of that object. As you can see, that is v1, and this base 1 is directly pointing it to the print. That means I am now trying to print this particular function, which is over here, so that whatever I have inherited, it gets overridden and we get the derived function as an output. So basically, if I run the code, I should get a derived function as an output, because our main objective is that whatever I have inherited, it gets overridden, because I want this function to run when I'm calling this object. I don't want this function to be called. Both names are same, so polymorphism. But since I want forcibly that this function or this thing should be printed, that means this function should be called, I made a base pointer, that is base 1, which is pointing to the object of d1, and this base 1 is directly pointing it to the print, which is this one. So if I run the code, I should get derived function as an, which you can see over here. The little bit confusing thing is that since we're using a virtual function, we have to use a pointer based class, and here I have made that pointer which is pointing first to the address, and that pointer again, it's pointing to the function directly, which is present on that particular class, and whatever is inside, it's getting printed. So that is the concept of virtual functions. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can put down in the comment section.